Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're sharpening our claws and diving deep into one of the most hyped games for the PlayStation 5, Marvel's Wolverine. Let's get right into it. All right, let's just start here. The gaming world absolutely exploded when this was announced. Logan is getting his own standalone title, and it's being built from the ground up just for the PS5. So this whole thing kicked off at a police station showcase, and the reveal trailer sent, literal shockwaves through the entire industry. This wasn't just some other game announcement. It was a real statement of intent. Yeah, that first trailer set the tone immediately. It wasn't flashy like a typical superhero thing. It was gritty, it was moody, and it was super intense. You knew right away they were promising a Wolverine experience that was going to be true to his long, and let's be honest, his very dark and violent history in the comics. So why is this specific announcement such a massive deal? We've had Wolverine games before, right? Well, the absolute game changer here is the studio that's holding the reins. And that studio is Insomniac Games. Now, think about this. They didn't just make a good superhero game with Spider-Man, they created what many consider the definitive Spider-Man experience. They totally mastered that duality between the spectacular hero and the struggling, everyday guy, Peter Parker. And that's the exact skill set you need to explore the conflict between the man, Logan, and the animal, the Wolverine. And you can hear that commitment straight from the source. The game's creative director, Brian Horton, has made it crystal clear. Their goal is to honor everything that makes Logan such a legendary character. This isn't just another licensed game, it feels like a real passion project. So, how is all this going to translate to the actual feel of the game? Well, Insomniac is promising something very, very different from their previous Marvel adventures. It really all comes down to that mature rating. This is not going to be a T14 game, no way. Insomniac is fully leaning into the darker stuff. The complex morality, the violent confrontations, and the sheer brutality that are just, essential to understanding who Wolverine is. And look, these images just perfectly capture that shift in tone. On one side, you've got the classic, maybe more heroic Wolverine from the cartoons, and on the other, a grittier, darker, almost menacing version of the character. This just screams that we're in for a totally different kind of ride. The combat is being designed to be one thing above all else: visceral. The goal here is for you to feel every single impact. This isn't about fighting from a distance, it's about getting up close, personal, and just ferocious. It's meant to put you right in the middle of the chaos. And yeah, it is going to be brutal. The developers are dead set on honoring Logan's savage legacy. This is not a game that's going to pull any punches. It's really about reflecting the harsh reality of a guy who's lived for centuries and has fought in, countless battles. But here's the thing, it's not just violence for violence's sake. That brutality is going to be balanced with a really deep narrative. The game is promising to explore Logan's personal struggles, his trauma, and all the complicated relationships that have defined his incredibly long life. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff. How does all this translate into gameplay? And how is Insomniac using the power of the PlayStation 5 to bring it all to life? So the heart of the gameplay is obviously the claws. We're talking about a combat system built entirely from scratch around Wolverine's primary weapons. The whole point is to let you truly, and I mean truly, unleash that famous ferocity on your enemies. And his famous healing factor? It's way more than just a plot point. It's going to be a core gameplay mechanic. This will directly impact your strategy, letting you absorb insane amounts of damage and just keep fighting in a way no other hero can. It's going to fundamentally change how you approach every single fight. And you knew it was coming. Berserker Rage. Oh yeah. Players are going to get to tap into that iconic, uncontrollable fury, turning Logan into an absolutely devastating and unstoppable force of nature. The PS5 hardware is going to take all this to the next level. Imagine actually feeling the snikt of the claws popping through the DualSense haptics, or feeling the resistance on the adaptive triggers as you fight. You add in ray tracing for these hyper-realistic environments and the SSD for basically no loading times, and you've got a recipe for a truly immersive next-gen experience. But, maybe the most exciting part of all this is that this game doesn't exist in a vacuum. Insomniac is clearly thinking way bigger, and Wolverine is a major piece of a much larger puzzle. It's been confirmed Marvel's Wolverine takes place in the exact same universe as Marvel's Spider-Man. That means Insomniac is now looking after two of Marvel's most iconic heroes, building out a connected world right there on the PlayStation platform. And this right here, this is the dream scenario. The door is now wide open for crossovers, for team-ups, for a truly connected Marvel gaming universe. I mean, could we actually see Spider-Man and Wolverine cross paths? Just the possibility alone is incredibly exciting for fans.
So, what this all means is that we are literally witnessing a huge expansion of the superhero gaming landscape. With Wolverine, Insomniac isn't just making another game. They're building a richer, more diverse, and more interconnected world for all of us to explore.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last burning question to think about while we wait. With a rogues gallery as deep and deadly as his, who do you think should be the first major villain to really test Logan's limits? Sabretooth? Omega Red? I mean, the possibilities are just endless.